right, welcome on in. We are back with another episode of WrestleChats. Sharpy and Ray here today. Hello, Ray. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Sharpy. How are you, brother?
Good, brother. We're going to talk about some more wrestling here today. Let's not muck around. Let's get stuck straight into it. Make sure you guys do let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover in future episodes. That would be great. But we are going to start just with the tag team division in general. Women's and men's we're going to cover today.
WrestleChats with Sharpy and Ray.
Let's start with the women's. Overall vibe, the situation with the tag titles on Cargill and Belair. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to throw that straight back at you, Sharpy. What are your thoughts? Because I don't have the best thoughts on it, mate. I'm going to be honest.
I don't have the best thoughts either.
Yep.
I think that since they introduced those titles, they have been an afterthought. And I think that tag team wrestling can be way more exciting than singles wrestling sometimes. The amount of variables that can be thrown out there instead of like a single one-on-one, you can have so many different things happen.
And random people put together, which could make it so good
teams.
too. Yep.
It's been disappointing so far since they introduced them back in like 2017 or whatever it was. And they always said they were going to defend them across NXT and stuff like that, and they never really did. They did it maybe once, and they still failed to do so. Disappointing, and they don't really get enough airtime, in my opinion, and they don't get enough story time either. I think that they've just chucked them on Jade and Bianca because it's easy.
Yeah.
And they've sort of just gone, oh, off you go.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
I have got quite a strong opinion on the women's tag team division because of the simple fact of, once you just said, like you just said, there could be so much more involved in what they could be doing right now. They've just chucked them on Jade and Belair, and we know that Belair's already like a world champion. We know how good that she is, and a countless amounts of times she's tried to carry Jade along and what Jade's meant to be doing. Jade's looking nowhere near as a world class as what Belair looks like compared to that. You're meant to elevate each other and make each other look a lot better.
Even in like the promos and stuff, like Belair's like carrying Jade
the whole time. Now, we've touched on this before. We think Jade's got a lot more work to do. But at the same time, a tag division can really push someone and really make someone a great tag team, a dominant force, or make someone stand out to the rest of the world of like, man, they're like, these girls have been putting it in for years and years, have been putting in a lot of work now. Let's get behind these girls because they're now showing us exactly what they're doing. Belair and Jade, I don't think they do that.
And they took the titles off them for a reason, and then they just gave them back to them, like from the Scottish girls. I just don't know why didn't they give the Scottish girls a bit more? Because they're still kind of NXT girls.
They are kind of NXT.
The whole idea is to have them go from NXT to Raw to SmackDown and defend them everywhere. Yeah. They didn't even do that, and then they just lose them straight back to the people they won.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense.
It was bizarre.
They lost it over in Scotland or wherever it was, Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle. Hey?
So they were the hometown heroes. So the girls won it, which was absolutely fantastic.
Loved it.
We saw it here a couple of years ago. Buddy Murphy won the Cruiserweight Championship over in Australia.
And
so
the
it's good that they
Iconics
do
won the
that.
tag titles as
And
well.
the Iconics won the tag titles, which was absolutely fantastic too. But then they just won that over in Scotland. To then lose it only a couple of months later just doesn't make any sense to me.
It didn't sit right. It was weird.
I think in both men's and women's in 2025, there needs to be a big push for tag titles. There needs to be a big push for new teams that have come into it. Why would you not want to get somebody like Chelsea Green and Piper?
Excuse me. Her name is Chelsea Green.
Why would you not want to give them a bit of a push to know that those two are together? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to give someone a push like Naomi and Bayley? Why wouldn't you try to tag team them up at the two at the same time? Damage control at the same time. Why wouldn't you try to push for these good teams, these good pairs that are together, and keep doing a match every single week to win this tag championships that they don't have on NXT, that they don't have on SmackDown because they're on Raw. They should be, like you said, defended absolutely everywhere. Do a Uso styles where they've just got 2 years of constant travel underneath themselves. This is where Trips needs to say, if you girls want to show us that you're World Tag Team Champions, you need to be willing to go all over the world and defend them whenever we ask you to do so.
I agree. And also put in the work in terms of, like, if you do have to... I think some of the things they should do is bring in, like, They used to do the triple threat tag matches where you'd have, like, a set from Raw, a set from SmackDown. Put a set from NXT in there.
Why not?
Mix it up.
Why not?
Make it more interesting. I don't know. I just think there's so many more opportunities, things that they could do. Gimmick matches. They've just wrestled normal matches. Like, put them in a tables match. Let them have some fun.
Show them what they're doing, you know?
Let someone throw someone off the top rope to win the tag titles. That's fun.
So if there's one women's tag team championship team, then it should be defended over NXT, SmackDown, and Raw.
Yes.
So why would you not bring your best of the best from all 3 shows and say, we're giving you the best, throw them at them, and do whatever you need to do. Get every single team calling them out every other week. We've got 2 girls that are absolutely dominant in NXT at the present moment. Challenge them for the tag team championships right now. But it's not. It's just falling short.
And
you don't hear anything over it.
Have mixed fun teams together.
Absolutely.
Like, put, like, maybe Tiffy with someone else that's a bit random that we couldn't think of before. Or, you know, if Charlotte comes back, team her up with someone that's a bit younger so that she has someone to, like, show the way. Kind of like with... I just think there's so many more opportunities they're just missing with that sort of thing.
Make any sense. But to me, an ultimate tag team championships on the women division would be someone like Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Yeah. How are you meant to beat Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair because they are world class at what they're doing?
It's like that with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and they did nothing with them.
Absolutely nothing with them.
And it's like these 2 women could beat any men and be fine, and it's like you're just letting them do nothing. Okay.
So I know we're getting a little bit animated. I know we might be getting a little bit heated behind this, guys. But to us, it just really seems like the women's division tag team can be so much more than what it is. And at the same time, they're not doing these girls who've already got the belt and who want the belt nowhere near enough justice of what they're trying to do. No. When WWE goes onto Netflix, then time's going to be cut short even more. So we're going to be seeing even less of them.
Well, they don't
to
know.
Even think that,
they don't know Netflix. So it could be 3 hours, it could be 2.
Could be 2, who knows?
Still don't know yet.
But to me, in my thoughts are, if you're cutting the show down, then you might cut down the women's tag team division. And in all honesty, that pisses me off. That pisses me off.
Yeah, out of all things, out of all titles, that's probably the first to go.
And it should be silly to go because it's such a great title to have. Yeah. And you could do so much more with what you've already got right there. So I know I'm getting a little bit animated, a bit peeved off about it, everybody else, but because I think there's so much more that they can be doing with the women's tag team division.
It's always just a regular tag match. Like, mix it up, make it more fun. Like, put them in a ladder match, put them in a tables match, put them in a chairs match, put them in something. And it falls count anywhere. Have them brawl out to the car park.
Absolutely.
And win it that way. Or do something fun. Don't just always have the same match, the same tag match that's like, oh, come on, we've seen this 100 times. Mix it up.
And I don't think at the same time that if they did say this to these world-class athletes, I honestly think if Triple H went up to these girls and said, we want you girls to start the match in the ring and then just have a backstage brawl the whole time, I honestly don't think that the word that they're going to be saying to Triple H is no.
Yeah, they'll be like, hell yeah, we'll show you what we can do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think if anybody in the industry still to this day, or even if they do it all, say no to Triple H be like, all right, cool, you're showing me what you've got, and what you've got isn't world-class quality, we're taking the belts away from you straight away. Yep. And I don't think Jade and Belair would do that, but I just don't think Jade and Belair are where that women's tag team championship division needs to be. These are the girls that are setting the bar. I just don't see it. When was the last time they actually had a match for the world? Like, I can't even think about it right now, the present moment.
The last pay-per-view, but I don't, it wasn't even memorable. It was quick. It's just a waste of time. They need to invest, but like make the stories more, like, don't just make it about winning the tag titles. Make the stories more interesting too. Like, make there be a proper personal issue and then let that lead into the tag titles and stuff.
And we all know that Belair and Jade are eventually going to turn on each other anyway. But for the present moment, why would you not make it personal like you just said?
Plant seeds.
We know that Jade's got, I think she's got a child. She's got a husband. I mean, hell, Bianca Belair's husband works in WWE. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do a backstage hit on him at some stage to then kick off Belair and trying to get behind you and try to... There's just so much potential and it just pisses me off that they're not using this anymore. So before I get too animated about this, I think we do need to move on to the actual men's tag team division, which has gotten better.
It's gotten better, but it's still not great.
It's gotten better ever since they actually changed the titles. And so first of all, first question to you, Sharpy, do you like the new titles?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I love the Raw ones. They look like world championships. They look like this, but like with the thing in the middle, it's...
So the big round belts, you like the big round
goldies
belts?
Look nice. I love the SmackDown ones too because they're a throwback to the old tag titles. Yeah, way, way, way better than what they used to be.
I would be honest with you, when they first revealed the big round tag titles, I didn't like them. I did not like them. I was like, these things look silly. They just look like another big coin again. I don't understand why they've done what they needed to do. As soon as the champions came out, who I think was,
Miz and R-Truth.
Miz and R-Truth. I think when they came out and they were over the top of their shoulder or on their waist, that's when I fully understood it. That's when I was like, okay, these things look good on someone's shoulder or on someone's waist. But if you've got them just sitting upright, it just looks like a big coin to me.
Yeah, it does.
But seeing them on someone's shoulder or on someone's waist, you're like, that's different. That stands out. That looks good.
In terms of the teams, so we've had sort of the Miz and R-Truth as kind of like the comedy. Same with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
Yeah,
sort of similar.
They've got their own thing, yep.
Both got their moments at Mania, which I was very happy with. But at the same time, kind of the same style of tag teams, that comedy-esque sort of funny one-man, two-man punch sort of thing.
Yeah.
We've moved now to Judgment Day winning the titles yet again, and then we've got... the Tongans in the Bloodline on SmackDown winning the tag titles. What's your vibe on that situation? I think the three-way ladder match on SmackDown is a magnificent start to bringing more prestige back to those titles.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree anymore. I couldn't agree any more in that.
That's what they should be doing to go back to the women's titles. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, tonight we're going to have a ladder match for the men's title. And the women's.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Absolutely. And I think the women can hold it down. But in going to what the tag division is now, I believe, and I've said this countless amounts of times, I'm going to keep saying it though, 2025 should be a real push on the tag division of what they can do. Let's start getting some random teams together to really make it a competition, which is what you want to watch. I still want to do the whole Daniel Bryan and Kane, a team like that that's come together. That doesn't work and shouldn't work, but then towards the end of it, for some reason, you've got this big red monster that's holding up his hands and doing a yes thing, and he's hugging Daniel Bryan, and the crowd's getting behind the chemistry of the team that are coming together, as well as winning the tag team championships.
You're always going to have the New Day. You're always going to have like the Usos sort of thing. You're always going to have those stock standard teams, but I agree. I love seeing those KO and Randy teams. You know, Randy and Riddle was so good.
Yeah.
RK Bro, just stuff like that. Just RVD and Kane. Just a bunch of dudes that came in. Random teams are always the best. The ones that, you know, The Rock and Mick Foley, like the best. The best
Rock
teams.
And Sock.
The best teams are the ones that are just kind of thrown together that you don't know if they're going to work. And
that
then
doesn't work.
And you're like, wow, money.
And the thing is with WWE, because like Triple H said today, they've got such a roster of talent. They've got such a roster, not even of talent, of superstars that they've got, which you've got them, everyone lined up. You're like, God, what do I do with you guys? Because you're so damn good. But we've got such a restricted time. I think once these guys get together and start showing what they can do, then it's going to be like, wow, the tag division is something a little bit more here. We don't have single superstars that are going out to the ring to do their thing. We've got two guys in one hit. So two guys can kill one stone at the same time of trying to go after the new championships too.
I also like what they used to do was like they would have a feud of two dudes that would like go after each other for ages, like Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. They had like a blood feud, and then they introduced the SmackDown tag titles in 2002, and they're like, guess what? You guys are a team now.
Yeah. I do like that
Do
as
that
well.
with like Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Do that with Seth Rollins.
Team Monster.
Do that with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Just random shit like that, man.
Wow.
Put like sick teams together. That's how you can get like the tag title division really rocking. And like have like a world champions team win it. Like have a team that like okay, Randy's got 14 world titles and someone else has got 5. Like let's put them together and make them a tag title.
Why not? And do something like that. But at the same time, if you get these random teams that are coming together, don't just put them out in the ring. So like, okay, you guys versus you guys, it's going to happen. Let's give the guys that are trying to fight for a little bit more screen time. Okay, guys, so we got a 4-way tag match tonight, which is a tornado tag match. But once your tag partner gets pinned, then both of you guys are out of there. So then you're going to have 2 strange guys that are then trying to look after each other, which is then building chemistry. Oh, but at the same time, it's a ladder match too. And how electric would that be?
Yeah.
2 guys that are completely opposite on the total opposite sides of the field. You've got someone like Carmelo Hayes that's teaming up with...
Put him with Andrade. Like, what a team that would be, man.
Something like that. You've got someone like Trick Williams from NXT that's teaming up with Karrion Kross. 2 guys that couldn't be any more total opposite even if they tried to be. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, flick them out the door and try again somewhere else. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm just saying try something else. Because they're always known as single guys. So if they're single guys and they don't work as a tag team, put them back to being single guys again.
Speaking of people that could do really well in the tag team division, AJ Styles has been injured again.
Once again.
Very, very upsetting to see that. He looked pumped to be back from his stint in Japan and having a little bit of time off.
Looks fantastic.
Oh, man, when he came back at the start of the year, he looked just so good.
So good.
And now he's hurt himself again. So he was at an ACL last year. What did he do? I don't know what he did.
I'm not too sure.
He was out for almost 12 months.
Yep.
Before that, he was hurt with Omos.
Yep.
He's got hurt again.
Yeah.
Is he packing too much muscle?
I think he is. I think 100% he is. I mean, I honestly think, and as much as we do, as we all get older, we all try to relive where we once were when we were younger, back in our days of having a young, fit body. But over the time, I think AJ's packed on that much muscle and had that many injuries. He's still like, oh yeah, I could do a 450 flip off of the top rope. AJ, you've just packed on about 20 kgs of muscle, mate.
20 pounds of muscle, man.
You can't even stand on the top rope without it nearly buckling underneath you, dude. It doesn't work that way
You don't see Randy
anymore.
Orton when he bulked up doing anything crazy.
Not at all.
What I mean? Like,
I mean, doing very little,
easy,
you
brother.
know. I mean, you look at guys like LA Knight. His move list isn't a very big list, but the dude is just absolute muscle bound that it's not even funny. And he even knows it himself. I mean, his finishing move is just you grab their head and you put it down on the mat. Simple. That's how hard it is. You're not even jumping up for an RKO.
AJ's jumping on the top rope doing a forearm. Then he's doing a 450. And it's like, God, dude, you're putting your body through a lot here.
I mean,
it's going to break down at some point.
I mean, we all love, respect AJ Styles. To say that AJ Styles is a superstar, I think is underselling what AJ Styles has done over the time. But I honestly think it's gotten to that extent where someone needs to sit down and say to AJ, AJ, you're getting a bit older, brother. It's time to calm down a little bit. Yeah. Put him on that legendary contract, chuck him into NXT for a little while, get him building up some of the younger stars, and then bring him back and do what he needs to do. AJ, I know you're never going to see this, mate, but I think it's definitely coming from myself and Sharpy. We hope that you get better a lot sooner because we do miss you on TV, mate. We want you coming back, having these world-class matches. But yeah, it's a good segue. I think let's get into AJ Styles helping out some of the NXT guys. Let's start talking about NXT. Me, myself, I'm a huge fan of NXT. Any questions you've got straight off the top, Sharpy?
Ethan Page.
Oh. Hit him with a smile, hit him with a smile.
I love Ethan Page.
Oh.
Ego's Edge, come on, man. I love him.
So, a big fan of NXT. I had my doubts about bringing Ethan Page in.
Oh, they did him so good.
They did him very good. They did him very, very good. So he'd only been in for a couple of months, and then they put the title on him.
40 days.
40 days, and then they put the title on him.
And they gave him the title.
And they put the title on him. I mean, he did do his time, didn't he?
In AEW.
In AEW. I mean,
all around the world, but far out, man.
He's done his time for many, many years, but to come in for 40 days and win from Trick Williams, who Trick was so over.
And also,
Trick
like,
was just
Shawn Michaels being one of the best wrestlers ever, having a pretty good head for it, going,
yeah,
we'll chuck it on you for a bit, bud. Going like, wow, I've only just got here.
yeah.
Aye, captain. And he's had some banger matches. The match with Joe Hendry was so good.
So good.
Loved it.
So good.
The matches he's had with Trick Williams have been so good.
So good. I mean, I'm not doubting that the guy's not a superstar. He's not safe. He's not good in the ring. I just don't like the simple fact of, from someone who hasn't seen it from an outside perspective of what he's done throughout the years, if I've just chucked on NXT over the last 40 days and seen that he's just come in, oh yeah, he's just this another dude. Now, all of a sudden, he's winning the tag team champion, winning the actual NXT championship. You're kind of like, why? What has this guy actually done? Now, that's what I'm going with. Trick Williams did his time underneath Mello. Trick Williams did his time of putting his body on the line and doing what he needs to do. Then he won the actual NXT championship. Now he needs to defend it against two other guys. One guy that's only been in there for 40 days fell onto the opponent and won it.
That's what makes it so good, man.
Did him dirty.
The way he won the title is perfect.
Did him dirty.
For a dirty, rotten heel to just get knocked out, fall on his opponent, and win the title.
Yeah.
Amazing. I loved it. I thought it was
he's
great.
not my champ. And then that's what NXT say a lot of the times. He's not my champ. And he's not. And it's great to see that Trick Williams did finally get the win and is the NXT champion once again.
Gave me vibes of when like Ziggler won the title and he only had it for like 2-3 months and then Breaker won it back.
Yep.
It kind of gave me that vibe. Like this dude comes in, steals it by pure fluke because Ziggler did a similar thing. I liked it a lot, and I think it's a good way to grow Trick Williams and show his resiliency as a character.
That's a great...
Never gives up, keeps coming back.
Yep. And he did say as well, I'm going to keep going after my championship. Yep. I'm going to keep going after my title.
And now he's got the brand new NXT title.
Now he's got the brand new, and Trick was also saying from the word go as well, for the next person who wins the brand new NXT championship will be the next person to take it into that era. So what is it going to be? A Trick Williams era, or is it going to be an Ethan Page era? And we've all seen that it is that. In saying that about NXT, I'm a big fan of NXT, and NXT are only getting better and better. Yeah. I mean, NXT a couple of years ago, and I know you're going to agree with me here, Sharpie. NXT
2.0 was terrible.
NXT 2.0, but not even that. That everybody knew that NXT was the grade A wrestling show before you got on the main card of being in SmackDown and Raw. It's still the way, but now I think it's just unspoken of NXT is the third show. NXT, you're still on the main roster.
I think they tried when like Charlotte won the Royal Rumble and was like, I want that NXT title. I think that was one of the ways to say like, yeah, it is the third show. I think that was like the very beginning of it. But I think you're right. I think that it looks like they're moving to arenas now.
Yes.
Which, if they're selling out arenas, that's going to be back to like full-blown proper like NXT, like black and gold shows, like full sold-out takeovers.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Which was crazy. And then the thing that I love about NXT is there's still these young guys that are coming up in NXT and trying to prove what they need to do. But when they're coming up in NXT, they're still superstars in their own right straight away from the word go. So you can't sell these guys short of being superstars because they already are superstars in doing what they're doing. They just don't have main event roster of a Bad Blood or a WrestleMania or anything else like that behind them. They're still doing Bash at the Beach and everything like that, which is those vintage main events that they're trying to bring back in again. NXT, for me, are smashing goals in everything that they're doing right now.
They took a lot of back steps, and then they've brought themselves out of it, and they've sort of hit the reset button, and they're just starting to see, you can see it. You can see it starting to evolve now back into that little NXT culture where everyone was just obsessed with it. It was AEW before AEW existed and everyone was gunning for that show. I don't know if they can get to that level, but if they can get close and sell out arenas, it's going to be very good to watch. And then you can have people go down and come up and it feel just normal.
Which
like
is
Corbin
fantastic,
going down
and
losing the Happy Corbin gimmick and just becoming Baron Corbin again himself and having an NXT title win and I mean, that's another dude that's just gone missing again, which sucks. I don't know if he's injured or what he's doing, but
I think he's just doing live shows with
it
Apollo
sucks.
Crews.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love him.
he's great. He was the best. He was the best heel. I mean, I don't think he was as good as Dom, but he was definitely the best heel. But what NXT are doing right now at the present moment with their championship, with their champions that they've got right now, Oba Femi, I mean, I know everybody who watches Oba is going to say that he's just a superstar.
Big dude.
He's a massive man.
He's a big
So
dude.
he's got to the extent now where he's got a title and then he's got an actual add-on to that title. So the strap wraps around him. So you see him come into the ring. He takes the actual title off and then he rips off the extension and throws that on the ground and then gets into the ring with the title. As he holds it up, it only looks about this big in his hands. Huge, man. Absolutely huge. But can go.
Absolutely.
Some
Great
of the
to
moments that he's
watch.
done is fantastic. I mean, I think it was only a couple of months ago, there was a 3 big men match, and he had 2 big men on top of him and suplexed him down. I mean, the guy is just, he's just a superstar. I'd like to say he's money, but the money's already been made of what he's already done. He is a superstar.
Roxanne Perez, thoughts? I rate her.
Never been a fan.
Really?
I've never been a fan
She's such a good little shit heel.
of a 5'4" little girl that
AJ
is
Lee was that, man.
So just can't do much in the ring because she's just that small. She doesn't have a lot of strength to her. She's not very athletic. Everything that she does, her good guy, her heel turn, I do not rate her at all. I'm sorry out there to the rest of you guys, and I know some of you will or will not agree with me, but I do not like Roxanne at all.
Who knocks her off?
Get her gone. Anybody. Freaking anybody. I don't even care.
Cora Jade? She looks like the next one to have a shot.
I think so, yeah, but there's a lot of other girls that need to come up there.
Dude, I wanted Jordan Grace to beat her so bad.
So badly.
I wanted Jordan Grace to be the TNA Knockouts champ and the NXT
NXT.
champ. Oh my God.
And I think it's only going to be a matter of time before she transitions into WWE. Because the
Fire out,
WWE
man. She
and the
is
TNA,
dope.
she's just fantastic.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many talents and so many girls that's in WWE, which NXT, that I believe should just get a shot at being the champ and be the champ. I mean, give them a run at the champ. For someone who I was so I just didn't understand why WWE did it, and they put the belt on someone like Mandy Rose. To me, that made no sense. I did not understand why they would put it on Mandy Rose. And look what she did. She transformed
straight
her
away.
whole character and made herself such a badass and was putting on some of the best matches that I've seen in the women's division. And then things just went astray for her and she left.
All that hard work and energy put into that, and then she's gone.
And then she's
Really?
gone. Just for being a little bit silly. Just don't put the stuff out there on social media. You know, just put the camera down for a little
Keep being the
while.
NXT champ and just get on with
Keep
it.
doing what you're doing. I understand you fit, love, but don't take photos of it flat out and post it up. It's just not to be needed.
Yeah.
Guys, what is your thoughts? Am I completely wrong again? You don't agree with me, Roxanne Perez. What do you think about the NXT champs right now, at the present moment? Do you agree that NXT is a third brand that's coming up, not just a grade A thing that's coming up at the same time? Do you like what Trick Williams has done? Are you with Sharpy about loving the whole Adam Page thing? Guys, please leave a comment below on your thoughts, on any more questions that you may have for us on anything wrestling related, and we would love to answer those questions in more time.
Thank you so much for watching. We're going to end it here. We're very excited to get on to the next episode. Make sure you guys tune in for that one. I can't wait.
Sorry if I was a little bit animated, a bit passionate about it.
We love it. That's
We
what
love
we're here
it.
for.
We
That's what
love
we're
it.
here for. Let us know in the comments below what else you're passionate about in the WWE landscape. We need to know. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye for now.
Peace.
WrestleChats with Sharpy and Ray.